Eleanor, where are you? You're going to be late for school. The voice drifted faintly up from below. Eleanor ran the brush one more time through silky hair and pulled it back with a deep rose ribbon. Then she grabbed her backpack and went down the stairs. In the kitchen, 4-year-old Margaret was eating cereal at the kitchen table, and Aunt Judith was burning something on the stove. Aunt Judith was the sort of woman who always looked vaguely frustrated. She had a thin, mild face and light flyaway hair pushed back untidily. Eleanor landed a peck on her cheek. "Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I don't have time for breakfast." "But Eleanor, you can't just go off without eating. You need your protein." "I'll get a donut before school," said Eleanor briskly. She dropped a kiss on Margaret's forehead and turned to go. "But Eleanor!" "And I'll probably go home with Bonnie or Meredith after school, so don't wait dinner. Bye." "Eleanor!" Eleanor was already at the front door. She closed it behind her, cutting off Aunt Judith's distant protests, and stepped out into the porch and stopped. All the bad feelings of the morning rushed over her again, the anxiety, the fear, and the certainty that something terrible was about to happen. Maple Street was deserted. The tall Victorian houses looked strange and silent, as if they might all be empty inside, like the houses on an abandoned movie set. They looked as if they were empty of people, but full of strange watching things. That was it. Something was watching her. The sky overhead was not blue, but milky and opaque, like a giant bowl turned upside down. The air was stifling, and Eleanor felt sure that there were eyes on her. She caught sight of something dark in the branches of the old quince tree in front of the house. It was a crow, sitting as still as the yellow-tinged leaves around it, and it was the thing watching her. She tried to tell herself that this was ridiculous, but somehow she knew. It was the biggest crow she had ever seen, plump and sleek, with rainbows shining in its black feathers. She could see every detail of it clearly, the greedy dark claws, the sharp beak, the single glittering black eye. It was so motionless that it might have been a wax model of a bird sitting there. But as she stared at it, Eleanor felt herself flush slowly, heat coming in waves up her throat and cheeks, because it was looking at her, looking the way boys look at her when she wore a bathing suit or a sheer blouse, as if it were undressing her with its eyes. Before she realized what she was doing, she had dropped her backpack and picked up a stone from beside the driveway. "Get out of here," she said, and heard the shaking anger in her own voice. "Go on, get away!" With the last word she threw the stone. There was an explosion of leaves, but the crow soared up unharmed. Its wings were huge, and they made enough racket for a whole flock of crows. But it swooped up again and circled, a black silhouette against the paper-white sky. Then with one harsh croak it wheeled away towards the woods. Eleanor straightened up slowly, then glanced around. Self-conscious, she couldn't believe what she had just done. But now the bird was gone, the sky felt ordinary again. A little wind made the leaves flutter, and Eleanor took a deep breath. Down the street a door opened, and several children poured out laughing. She smiled at them and took another breath, relief sweeping through her like sunlight. How could she have been so silly? This was a beautiful day, full of promise, and nothing bad was going to happen. Nothing bad was going to happen except that she was going to be late getting to school. The whole crowd would be waiting for her in the parking lot. You could always tell everyone you stopped to throw stones at a peeping Tom, she thought, and almost giggled. Now that would give them something to talk about. Without a backward glance at the quince tree, she began to walk as quickly as she could down the street.